Coming up on this edition of Cogeco News, the latest on COVID-19 and helping hands as well. A nice helping hand today at a local grocery store and the food bank in concert. And yes, working out from home, the Cormier way. Logan, everybody, welcome to this Thursday edition of Cogeco News. I'm Greg Esterbrooks. First on this night and this broadcast, the latest numbers in regards to COVID-19 from the North Bay Parry Sound District Health Unit. Well, 61 people were tested on this day. 16 cases, no change there. Hospitalized, still one person, and they're waiting on 304 results. And we're still wondering why some have taken weeks and some haven't. We hope to have that for you soon. Moving on in news, police still getting messages about local folks burned by scam artists. Police dealing with that and also sending out the word of a find of a bunch of high-end tools recovered by the service.
Since we put it out this morning, we've had a couple tips. We have 5 bags of tools that were recovered by an officer in an area just off Wallace Road at the north end of the city. High-end tools, there's probably a couple $1,000s worth in 5 distinct bags. And we're asking people, check your vehicle or your garage, and if you're missing these, they're hand tools, and there's also vehicle maintenance supplies and tools in 5 separate bags. If you're missing that, give us a call. If you can describe it, chances are we've recovered it.
And while we are dealing with a pandemic, there has been an epidemic on another front. Fraudsters. They're everywhere and they're aggressive, and sadly, in some cases, they've been successful, says Schultz.
And I'm certain that they're getting burned in all areas right now. It's a target-rich environment for them. With a lot of people working from home or just being home and not going to work, 50% of the mass marketing fraud happens online now, and it just increased their ability to contact people. We've had quite a number this month in the North Bay Police Service. We actually have 17 victims who've financially lost money to online frauds. And these include, one person had an online job cashing checks, happened to get a fraudulent check. You're on the hook for the money. He'd already wired off a large portion of the money from cashing that check. We've had some other scams, including one where you're dealing with social media and a grant system now. Fraudsters are known for taking what goes on in the media and twisting it to their own value or to run their own scams. So grants are a big thing now, and there is this bogus grant system that's ongoing. And a couple of North Bayites lost over $10,000 in paying administration fees for these grants, and the grants aren't real, they're fictitious. Big red flag there. If you did not solicit the communication, you should really look into it. If somebody just happens to be emailing you and saying, you can get this grant, all you have to do is send money to get it, that should be a red flag. Take a look at it, call the North Bay Police Service, go onto the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre website and educate your decision.
Adjustments to the Provincial Essential Services list has placed pressure on the local Social Services Board to fill childcare worker positions. Clark Heupel has the latest.
On Wednesday, the Provincial Essential Workers list was updated as the Government of Ontario made emergency childcare services more available to frontline workers. Enter DSAB, the District of Nipissing Social Services Administration Board.
What we're asking for now is any people with those qualifications, and I would also extend it out to those that are in that field being educated at this particular point. There certainly are options for them to qualify as support people inside these extended child care centers.
How unique of an opportunity is this right now, an organization hiring? Because right now, unfortunately, more often than not, it's organizations letting people go because their hands are forced.
Well, obviously, you can see the flux that's going on in our economy, and there's an opportunity here for people. There's no question about that, Clark. And certainly we would, we've experienced a slight problem in Mattawa. We haven't been able to open that full facility, and that revolves around employees, but at the same time as it expands here in the city and in West Nipissing, obviously we need those people. So I guess the best way to explain it is people can go on the DSAB website. It would be dsab.ca. Go to the child care section in the website, and it'll provide the links on how to head in the right direction.
Would these workers be heading into homes to take care of children, or is it a central location?
Well, what's been suggested in some cases, because there are a number of people that work shift work, and we've been trying to work around that situation, is that yes, workers could possibly go into the home to provide that extra support in off hours, and that has been an issue.
Personal protective equipment is mandatory for these child care workers.
There are very stringent processes that are ongoing inside these child care centers. Obviously, every required support is there for those particular people, and I'm fully supportive of the process.
DSAB is looking to fill these positions as soon as possible. Reporting for Cogeco News, I'm Clark Heipel.
Local grocery store owners are stepping up to assist the North Bay Food Bank with keeping supplies on their shelves. Following a fresh food donation from Orchards, Jeff and Tanis's No Frills on Lakeshore stepped up nicely with a bounty of bread for the less fortunate.
Jeff and Tanis from, yes, you guessed it, Jeff and Tanis's No Frills on Lakeshore had a big donation for the North Bay Food Bank. The delivery made on Thursday morning.
The community has really come together behind us in North Bay. And we do have a lot of customers that come from out of town, whether it be Callander or Powassan, and their food banks need help as well too. Just so happened that today we could donate to the North Bay Food Bank.
And with people panic buying, people need to remember that there's people less fortunate, and giving back really helps the entire community.
Oh yeah, it's huge. Like right now, I know there's a lot of people that are scared, they're worried, with things with like serve payments, a lot of financial uncertainty out there. We're considered essential workers, so we get to go out there, and we still get to talk with people and be social. And we're not necessarily worried about our own jobs. Yes, we are worried about our health. But at the same time, there's so many other people out there that it's just this huge unknown and huge stress. So if this can kind of help alleviate some of that stress, it's kind of the least we could do.
Have Jeff and Tanis come by with some food rescue items for us. Really does complement the hampers that we send out every day to the most vulnerable in our community. We have people that are staying home through self-isolation, which we want, and we have high risk, we have seniors, we have that demographic that really are staying in, plus we have our regular client load that really, this is a treat for them, and it's a great addition to the hampers to top it up and make their cupboards full.
It's hard to tell what the food bank needs by just looking at the stock on the shelves.
When you look at a stockpile of something, which isn't what we have, the perception is we're good, we're solid. We're not. We're, as quickly as this food is coming in, it's going right back out. It's doing what it's intended to do. Move in, move out, get people fed.
How are you doing with clientele? Is it increasing?
Yeah, it's absolutely increasing. We're seeing new faces every session, a lot of singles and a lot of families. So we have 4 demographics that we deal with, single adult, 2 adult home, 3 adult home, and then families. So we find the singles and the families are the new ones that we're seeing. Some repeaters, people who haven't had to use us in a long time that are still in our system have had to come back, and we don't want people to feel embarrassed or intimidated to come. We're here to help, and that's what we're for.
For people shopping at the No Frills on Lakeshore, there is a deposit box. What are you wanting to see in that box today, maybe perhaps this weekend if people are out grocery shopping?
Well, they can purchase any of the pre-bags that are done for us, or they can do jam, peanut butter, any real non-perishable item that we can complement to the hampers. Canned potatoes, canned fruit, canned tomatoes, anything like that. Powdered milk, that's a big need for us, and we're having a hard time getting it. So if you see it and you want to help us out, that would be great.
Time now for Chamber Chat. Patty Carr filling in admirably for Peter Chirico is at the Chamber office for this, and we begin with questions about reopening dates for business.
Have a large group right across Canada that meets weekly, and along with a number of other webinars, but we have experts from CRA so that we know the regulations and what the new programming is coming out, and if there's questions or gaps that we see for some businesses that aren't fitting the criteria properly. And so they're hearing it right from the business group right across the country, just to make sure that we can support our businesses.
People have talked about mental health issues and coping with this. I mean, when somebody has a business that's been in their family for generations and can't open, they've got to be unbelievably stressful and about feeding their families. I mean, you're probably hearing calls like that.
Actually, a lot of one-on-one calls for those that aren't seeing the supports available, and of course, sometimes it's just as simple as they don't meet those requirements, but there might be something else out there that meets that. One of the seminars that I'm waiting for today is WTF, which means what to feel during this time of COVID-19 and the stressors that happen. And I believe that mental health is a huge part of this for a lot of the owners and managers of these businesses.
And from a tourism standpoint, you've got no Bay Days, you've got no Voyager Days, you've got no Armed Forces Day. I mean, it's pretty obvious that there's a lot of bad news is mounting and you have to try to cope with all of that.
Well, as we've seen, all events have been canceled, and then of course the ones that are upcoming, because we don't know when the economy will reopen. We also don't know that the customers or clients that want to attend these would be even comfortable at this point to attend big events such as that.
Obviously, you're still talking to the mayor, you're still talking to the MPP, you're still talking to the MP. What kind of questions are you asking of them?
Actually, when we're talking to the different levels of government, of course, it's to find out the programs, when they're going to be implemented, and of course, when the first checks are going to be received by our small businesses. We are making sure that, if there are gaps in the system, that they're brought to the attention of the proper people, whether it's CRA, the federal government, provincial government, that type of thing. I have to say that
We're going to head to a break. When we come back, yes, Pet of the Week is still on our radar. That's coming up right after this. Welcome back, everybody. It was raining, yes, cats and dogs on Thursday. More rain in the forecast. We'll get to that later. But it's also Pet of the Week time, coincidentally. Coincidence? Maybe. Clark wrote that. Yes, Clark even wrote that he wrote that. Check that out. Here's Mr. Hypo with Janet Breeden as shelter staff need a little help naming a dog that will be up for adoption in the coming weeks, we hope.
This is the North Bay Humane Society's newest hot topic. So she is currently unnamed, and with all of the hullabaloo about what's going on in the public, we wanted to really create just some smiles and some entertainment for people. So we've enlisted the public to name her, and we've actually narrowed it down to what we believe to be 5 really appropriate names coming from the public. So asking people to reach out online, take in the poll that we've got, and find her hopefully a name by tomorrow.
Now, my personal opinion was Princess Palm, but I don't know if that made the top 5. This is the first I'm hearing of it, so let's get that list.
Definitely. So the top list right now, we've got Sophia, Lucy, Sassy, Ginger, and Queenie. So definitely, I mean, we're still open for interpretation. I don't think anything's official at the moment, but really encouraging people that, name or not, she is desperately looking for a forever home. So Palms are a little bit quirky, and really encouraging people to do their homework on little breeds, small dogs, and the Palm just as a dog in and of itself can be, a little bit of a handful. So encouraging people, the older the dog still needs training, ongoing supervising around young children, other animals, and that sort of thing.
Now, I won't hold it against you that my name wasn't added to that top 5. However, moving forward, and forgetting that, water under the bridge, this dog, unfortunately, right now is not up for adoption because of the COVID situation. However, that could change in the coming weeks.
Definitely. So the Humane Society, we're working sort of on a day-by-day basis. So really encouraging people to give us a call and, keep an eye on the website and the Facebook page. Everything is changing day by day. So right now the adoptions are on hold, but we're really optimistic that things are going to get up and running in the future. So once she gets seen by our veterinarian with regards to spay-neuter appointments as well as dental work, which is a little dog trait, then we're hopefully looking for her forever home.
How do people vote on the name to be given to this young pup?
So they can go on to the Facebook page and our website. Everything will be posted there, and they can make their final decision, and hopefully we'll have some good news for everybody shortly.
We should have a contest to rename Clark after his haircut last night, self-administered, by the way. I went with Lex Luthor, so did he. Clark will have your complete 5-day forecast right after this.
Weather is brought to you by Canadore College. Great things happen here.
April showers will bring May flowers, and certainly fitting that it is the last day of April. And tomorrow we're expecting clear, sunny skies. Welcome back to Cogeco News. I'm Clark Heipel here down at North Bay's waterfront. I am here for your 5-day weather forecast brought to you by Canadore College. It is raining cats and dogs on this Thursday. We had just over a dozen millimeters of rain on Wednesday, and in certain areas, Environment Canada was saying that in total, over the past 24 to 36 hours, 70 millimeters of rain could fall. However, that will not be the case
for our area. We are getting steady rainfall, but not nearly that much, thankfully, because the ground is quite saturated. Now, heading into the weekend, we are going to have beautiful sunny skies. The flowers will be blooming, the leaves will be coming out, and the skies will be sunny. Let's take a look at the 5-day forecast brought to you by Canadore College. Heading overnight on this last night of April 2020, a low of +2, and the rain ends late in the evening. And this April has been Daffodil Month. If you haven't done so, please give generously at cancer.ca to fight cancer. On Friday, the 1st of May, we'll have flowers indeed. It's going to be a beautiful day, 17 degrees with clear skies on Friday. Overnight Friday night, a clear, cooler low of 2 above. Saturday, more pleasant conditions, sun and cloud with a high of 14. And overnight Saturday night, low of 6, chance of showers. Sunday, the 3rd of May, 16 and 2 for the high and low, mix of sun and cloud. And Monday, the 4th of May, high 11, low 2 below, mix of sun and cloud. Turning the page back to the almanac, Wednesday was a wet one. We had a high of 8 and a low of 5. The normals are 14 and 3 for the high and low. Well, there you have it. There is your 5-day weather picture. Do stay tuned, as our Greg Esterbrooks will have your sportscast right after this very short break.
Sports is brought to you by Tag Construction for all your construction needs.
Welcome back, everybody. North Bay's Monique Cormier has established herself as a premier personal trainer. The one-time bodybuilder, maybe bodybuilding again, was working out of World's Gym, but was part at the same time of a show called Radical Body Transformations. The pandemic, of course, has changed all of that for now, but not canceled her training sessions both locally and worldwide. And Monique Cormier joins us from her home via Zoom.
I certainly had to get creative with how I could show technique and form to most of the clients who are just beginners and starting. So for those individuals, I really had to change the way my focused program was for online training, which I've always been doing virtual training. But the typical person who takes an online course or training program would be someone who is not a beginner, someone who's been training, who understands the vocabulary of following a training program, because it could become very overwhelming if you don't know what a shoulder press is or what a tricep dip is, right? So I started doing live videos at home and creating a program where people could actually follow with a chart and then watch the video, so that they're learning how to read a program, do the program, and enjoy continuing with their fitness goals.
I want to ask you a question though. You don't have weights for these people to use. You don't have machines for them to use. They can't row. They can't do pull downs. They can't do bench press. How do you train them?
So you do require a set of dumbbells or a resistance band, right? You do require some type of resistance to weight train, that is. But I also have programs where you're just using body weight. I mean, you could squat, lunge, push up, plank. There are so many different exercises that you could modify into a program that will focus on strengthening your full body.
You obviously, we covered you doing a story about radical body transformations, and a lot of those training is done online because some of your clients are thousands of miles away. Has that been tweaked at all because of the pandemic?
Absolutely. All these individuals also used to have access to their home gym, right? Everybody trains in a local community gym. Most people do. And so all these gyms are shut down around the world. This is worldwide. And it really became a struggle for everybody, especially the people who just started getting into the routine of going to the gym. And then all of a sudden there's a closed sign and they can't get in and they don't have that equipment and they're discouraged. And, changing your lifestyle takes a lot. And when you finally start changing your lifestyle and then that changes and it's uncontrolled circumstances, you really have to want to do it. And it was tough for a lot of them.
We'll have more from Ms. Cormier in the coming days. Today's COVID-19 numbers, let's take a quick look at them before we do a special volunteer salute. Canada.ca/COVID-19, Ontario.ca/coronavirus, Telehealth Ontario, 1-866-797-0000, and myhealthunit.ca. Now, of course, because of what's going on, we've had to say a temporary, yes, farewell, I guess you could say, to volunteers, but we're going to salute them. This young lady has been with us for about a year. She's Sarah McGowan. She's watching us on the live stream in her hometown of Elliott Lake. She's been with us for, like I said, just about a year, and she's been fantastic. Got to thank Harriet Madigan for helping attach her great work ethic to us here at Cogeco. She was a proud member of Clean, Green, and Beautiful, and maybe she will be again in the future. We miss having all our volunteers here, and we hope to get them back soon. That is it for news, weather, and sports for this Thursday. More live news right here on your TV North Bay, Cogeco News, live at 5 Friday.